love deception. I'm sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Maddie and I post bookish videos and the occasional travel vlog because my husband Sam and I just moved to Amsterdam. Today's video is inspired by a problem that I have. And honestly, I feel like a problem that a lot of other readers have too. So if you guys have a library card, your library probably has an app where you can deliver ebooks to your e-reader, your Kindle, your phone, whatever. And for me, that app is called Libby. And for some reason, even though I place holds on books at different times, every single book that I want to read gets delivered at the exact same time. I'm having that problem right now. I have about 6 books that I want to read before I have to return them. And with Libby, you can always click the deliver option later, but I've been doing that too much lately, and if you keep doing that, eventually they won't let you borrow it again, and it's kind of hard to keep track of it. I don't know. And I was also feeling very ambitious in the last 2 weeks, and I thought I would have more reading time, and then I simply haven't. If anything, I've been in a reading slump. In this video, I'm going to be reading every single book I have out from the Libby app right now on my Kindle, and I'm going to show you what those books are right now. I have All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. Nora Goes Off Script, I already read. A Fate Inked in Blood, but honestly, I don't feel the need to read that one before I return it. That one's kind of newer, and I feel like I need to get some of the older books. Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley. When He Was Wicked, this is Francesca's book in the Bridgerton series, and after season 3 came out, I was like, I need to read all of the other books, and I've been loving them, so absolutely need to read this. It's due in 6 days. House of Hollow, I think I saw George and Sophie talk about this book, so I really want to read that one too, but I do have more time. Then I have a bunch of audiobooks because I like to be listening to something at all times. Anne of Green Gables was available right away, so I can always renew that one right away. That's Not My Name is the last book I have on here that I need to read. It's a young adult thriller and everybody says great things about it. Let's get reading. And I actually have started a book for this video, which now that I think about it was not on that list, but it's because I'm being sneaky. So if you have a Kindle and you have the Libby app, but you aren't done with your book yet, you can turn your Kindle on airplane mode and the book will get returned in the system. So it will go to the next person, but it will still stay on your Kindle. So you're kind of cheating the system without screwing the person behind you because they're still gonna get the book, but you will have that book for as long as your Kindle is on airplane mode. So that's what I did for this book. The first book I'm reading for this video is Past, Present, Future by Rachel and Solomon. It is the sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which is a young adult romance book that I loved. I read it right when I got back into reading in 2020 and I gave it 5 stars. And I still remember moments from that book. So when I saw that this book came out within the last month, I had to read it, and I actually placed it on hold a few months ago because I knew it was coming out soon. So I got this book right away when it came out in the library system, and honestly, I'm 30% through with it, and it's kind of slow right now. I'm definitely gonna finish it because I love these characters, but I'm gonna give it a few more chapters, and then I don't mind reading a few books at a time, so I might start reading a thriller. I'll let you guys know. Bye. Hey guys, I don't know how this lighting is gonna look, but wanted to update you. I started filming this video on July 12th, and it is the next day, Saturday, July 13th. Imagine that. Imagine how numbers work. Okay, so I told you I was reading Past, Present, Future by Rachel and Solomon, and I can't remember because my little pea brain can't remember anything. If I told y'all it was kind of slow yesterday. It is slow. I'm not giving up on it because the writing isn't bad, it's just the story isn't moving along as fast as I would like it to right now, especially with it being a sequel. Like, I loved the first book, I could have stopped there, but since I love these characters so much, I did want to see more. So you're gonna kind of have to get my attention right away, and it's just not. So I set that down for now. I am gonna finish it in this video, but I picked up another book, and it is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. And I heard about this book because somebody was talking about it, and they said that the author of this book is the host of Crime Junkie, which is a true crime podcast. I don't know if I ever listened to that one. I listened to My Favorite Murder and maybe a few others. Up and Vanished I talked about before. It's cool that she wrote her own thriller and I wanted to check it out. So far, I really like it. I'm 40% through with it. And it's crazy. I don't know if this is true, but it's kind of reminding me of the JonBenet Ramsey case. Listen, I know nothing about Ashley Flowers and her podcast, but something's telling me if I were to look up this book that it would be inspired by the JonBenet Ramsey case, because it's the same situation. The daughter of the Jacobs family is gone when the mom wakes up in the middle of the night. She's missing, but the brother is okay because she has a twin brother. I can't remember if they're twins or not. And then they find out there was an intruder in the basement window. That is so haunting in the JonBenet Ramsey case. I hate that. And then they find her a few hours later in the book. I haven't done a deep dive on the JonBenet Ramsey case in a while, but that's pretty similar. And then also the author talks about how the girl that was murdered January in this book was a dancer, and how her mom noticed that she got a lot of attention from creepy men at her dance recitals and stuff like that, and everybody loved her. The whole town loved her. She was so bubbly and stuff like that. And I remember that being a topic in the JonBenet Ramsey case when I watched documentaries and stuff like that. Obviously I was not old enough to know about that case when everything happened. I'll let you guys know if I find that out, and hopefully I can finish this tonight. Hey guys, it's now Tuesday. I don't think I've filmed anything since Sunday, but I do have some updates. So I did finish All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, and I really liked it. For a minute, I had some ideas spinning around in my head that I thought were going to happen, and they almost did. Like, I was kind of on to something, but not really. But the ending, I never saw coming, and it was great. I almost wanted to give it 5 stars, but there was one thing in thrillers that I don't necessarily like, and I won't say because it will give it away. But it didn't bother me as much in this book because it wasn't as extreme. I originally gave this 4.5 stars. It's probably more of like 4.25 because it didn't absolutely blow my mind, but I still was like, damn. It's honestly one of the best thrillers I've read this year. I'm trying to think. I know I also rated Listen for the Lie pretty high, but I can't think of any thrillers off the top of my head that I absolutely love. And I know I said earlier that it reminded me of the JonBenet Ramsey case, and so I looked it up, and the author herself has never confirmed anything, but other people on Goodreads and other threads I saw on Google were talking about the similarities, so I'm not crazy. So then you would think I would go back to Past, Present, Future because I was already 30% into it and, you know, might as well try to finish another book. But no, I decided to add another book to the mix. So I'm currently reading Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley. I've never read a book by this author before, but I was having trouble remembering why I even put this book on hold. Which often happens because I'm constantly consuming like BookTok, BookTube, and be like, oh my god, I want to read that book, and then adding it and being like, wait, did I want to read that book? I need to be more selective. But I realized I found out about this book from Katie on BookTube. I found out about this author really because she said good things about Summer Reading by this author she really liked, and it was a good beach read. And then I was like looking at the other books this author wrote, and it was Paris is Always a Good Idea, so I put that one on hold just because I wanted to read a book by this author. And then I also have on hold Love at First Sight, and this one sounds like a book lover's perfect book. It says, when a librarian moves to a quaint Irish village where her favorite novelist lives, the last thing she expects is to fall for the author's prickly son until their story becomes one for the books. She's a librarian, she travels to Ireland, she falls for her favorite author's son. And also, if you know me, you know I love Ireland. Favorite place in the world. Go watch my Ireland vlog. And so far, my thoughts on Paris is Always a Good Idea is I really like the writing, and the plot of the story is interesting. I'm just not yet invested into it, so I need to keep reading. I will update you guys later if I get any further. I kind of just want to do something crazy and not even film this video and read Crescent City. But I still have that book on hold, and it still says 19 weeks. I can't remember the last time I had a 5-star read. And I need a 5-star read, or I need something I need to be fully immersed in something, and all of these little romance books or thrillers aren't doing it for me. I need a fantasy book. So maybe that'll be my next video, but I am gonna stick to this video. Okay, bye. It's the same day, it's much later, and I have some reading updates. I am all over the place, always. So earlier I said I started Paris is Always a Good Idea, and then I actually decided to go back to Past, Present, Future by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I'm 85% through with the book, and it says I only have 40 minutes left, so I'm thinking I can finish that tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. It's getting better. So I said I give the first book in the series 5 stars, and honestly that may have been because I was getting back into reading and I was in my give every book 5 stars era. But I do remember thinking it was so cute, and honestly this book is really cute too. It's not as good as the first one so far, and it feels very heavy. It's very sad, and also I don't think this one is considered young adult. I'm not actually sure. I haven't looked it up. I'll let you guys know. It feels more mature for sure, which makes sense because in the first book they were in high school, and in this book they go off to college. But I feel like if the first book is considered YA, then the second book should be as well. That doesn't bother me. I like spice. I like reading spicy books. I'm just saying, I was like, this is shocking. Like, what if a little 13-year-old picked this up? I feel like it's not appropriate. I don't know. But those are my thoughts so far. And then to make things even crazier, I went for a walk just now, and I also realized that I could download the audiobook for Paris is Always a Good Idea because it was available right away. Otherwise I would have downloaded Past, Present, Future, but there was a wait time for it on the Libby app. And so then I listened to the 40% mark of Paris is Always a Good Idea, and I'm not really vibing with it. It's kind of reminding me of the Spanish Love Deception. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do that to you, Jen McKinley. It's not giving me good vibes, but I'm gonna stick it out and give this book a chance. But other than that, I will update you with my final rating on Past, Present, Future here shortly. It is the next afternoon. It's Wednesday, and I did finish Past, Present, Future by Rachel Lynn Solomon this morning. I ended up really liking it. I would give it 3 stars. The writing in this book is incredible. It's beautiful. No doubt about it, Rachel Lynn Solomon can write a romance novel. And I love this series so much because the main character, Rowan, wants to be an author. And in this book, she's in her college writing classes and she's exploring that, and she's kind of talking about writer's block and stuff like that. And it has a lot of book lover quotes, writing quotes. I know myself as a book lover, I love reading about people who love reading as well. So definitely check this one out if you have any interest in writing, or if you just love reading about main characters that love romance novels. I will say, although the writing was amazing, there just wasn't too much to the story, you know, because it is a sequel and a lot already happened in the first book. But it was good to see Rowan and Neil back together. Overall, I'm glad I read it, but you don't necessarily need to. Other than that, I have been listening to the audiobook of Paris is Always a Good Idea. It kind of just makes me mad. I'm not gonna talk much about this again, and I'm just gonna listen to it when I'm cooking dinner or going for walks. I'm not really in a rush to finish it, but I am always walking to my workout classes or taking the public transportation, so I always like having something to listen to, but it's not my favorite audiobook in the world. And the main thing that pisses me off about this book, and then I'll shut up about it because there's no reason for me to just keep harping on it, is the whole point of this book is that the main character is taking a leave of absence from work and going to travel across Europe again because it's been a few years since she's done something for herself. And the whole time she's in Europe, her boss and her coworker are blowing up her phone, and she's like having to do FaceTimes about work and having to go to a meeting in Paris about work. And I'm like, I get that this is a workplace romance, I think, from the way it's going, but That is so annoying. She took a leave of absence. Why are you guys bothering her? And they left someone in charge, so that's pissing me off. That's all I have to say. I slept on my neck horribly wrong and I've got a kink in it, so I'm gonna go read the rest of the afternoon in bed and I'll let you know which book I end up starting. Good morning, guys. It's the next day. You guys can never tell what time it is, what day it is, because I'm always wearing the same sweatshirt. So, some updates. I really was gonna update you guys last night and then I didn't. So that's good for me. I actually started a whole new book. It was one I mentioned in the beginning of this video. It's called That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I think it's a YA thriller. I remember someone saying that, but I could be wrong. It's definitely a thriller. I just don't know if it's classified as YA. And I am so sorry, my eyebrows are not really drawn on this morning. But I wanted to update you before I finish the book. What are my eyebrows doing? It's really good so far. I'm 60% through with it because it's super fast paced and I want to find out what's going to happen, and I had to stop reading it last night because it was kind of scaring me a little bit. So here is the summary. She thought she had her life back. She was wrong. It was a mistake to trust him. Shivering and bruised, a teen wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of how she got there or who she is. A passing officer takes her to the police station, and not long after, a frantic man arrives. He's been searching for her for hours. He has her school ID, her birth certificate, and even family photos. He is her father. Her name is Mary, or so he says. When Lola slammed the car door and stormed off into the night, Drew thought that they needed some time to cool off. Except Lola disappeared, and the sheriff, his friends, and the whole town are convinced Drew murdered his girlfriend. Forget proving his innocence. He needs to find her before it's too late. The longer Lola is missing, the fewer leads there are to follow and the more danger they both are in. So I'm gonna go sit out on my balcony that gets a little bit of sunlight in the morning and finish it. Okay guys, I just finished Know My Name and I'm going to update you in a few minutes. But in the acknowledgements, the author mentioned Rachel Lynn Solomon, which is the author of the last book I read in this video. So, small world. Okay guys, I'm back. I look like hell. My final review of That's Not My Name. So good. Honestly, I think 5 stars. I know in this video I said All Good People Here is one of the best thrillers I've read in a while, and it was until I read this one. So 2 amazing thrillers in this video. I definitely recommend, and I think it is young adult. So it is less scary than your typical thriller and less gory, I would say. I was invested the whole time. I mean, I read it in less than 24 hours, if that tells you anything. It was really short, it was fast paced. The story was good. What more can I say? Go read it. I'll update you guys if I read one more book for this video. I really do want to read the Bridgerton book I was talking about earlier. We'll see. This might be too long already. So I'll update you guys if I start another library book. Hey guys, so it's like 3 weeks later. Incredible, I'm doing incredible, but I do have some updates. Last I talked to y'all, I know I talked about how I loved the thriller That's Not My Name, and I mentioned how I didn't know if I was gonna finish Paris Is Always a Good Idea because I was having a hard time getting into it. I did finish it, and I just wish I didn't. I don't want to say too much because I don't have many great things to say, and I feel like I need to be nicer on the internet because if I wrote a book and someone destroyed it, I would be distraught. I will give the author points for having some of the story take place in Ireland because I love Ireland, but after that, it just went downhill for me. I feel like it wasn't very entertaining, which was confusing to me because she's doing all this traveling across Europe and stuff. It just didn't flow for me, and I feel like not a lot ended up happening. I don't know. I'm not gonna rate it because it's a very low rating. I don't want to be mean, but it's on the lower end, if you know what I'm saying. And then I didn't film this next book at all because I didn't know if I was going to include it in here since the video's already probably really long. But I did also start and finish When He Was Wicked by Julia Quinn. This is Francesca's story in the Bridgerton series, and another book that I don't know what to think about. Every time I read a Bridgerton book, I'm like, oh, that's not my favorite. But the more I read everybody's story in Bridgerton, I'm like, okay, I do have my favorites. I loved Colin and Penelope's stories in the books and the TV show. I mean, I wanted more screen time of them in the TV show, but whatever. And then I think Benedict's story is my other favorite in the books so far, which is so exciting because his season is next. They announced that in the time since I last picked up my vlog camera. This one was just too slow burn for me. If you know, you know. Poor Franny. And I just didn't feel like there were a lot of sweet moments. I love Julia Quinn's declarations of love for each other when the characters finally realize, like, you're it for me. And in this book, I just felt like there wasn't a lot of that, and there should have been more of that because it's a slow burn. However, this one was the most spicy book out of all of them, out of all the ones I've read so far. So if you like that, there's that. I don't know, it's probably around like a 2.5, 3-star book. I love reading Julia Quinn's books because they're so easy to read and entertaining, but they're not anything special, you know, it's not a work of art. I'm here for that. I'm here to be entertained, and it entertained me a little. Let's wrap this video up, girl. Come on, get off the internet. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I had so much fun, and I'm glad that I read all of my hauls from the library. Almost all of them. My Kindle is now off of airplane mode and we're back in action. If you guys don't have a library card, go get a library card. Some of these libraries have tons of copies of popular books, and you can send them all to your Kindle when they're available for you. So go check that out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I would love it so much if you guys stuck around. I post book videos every week, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. Bye.